It seemed like only yesterday when EVs were being touted as the next big thing in the automotive world and flying off dealership lots. Fast forward to 2024 and you'll see rows upon rows of these next-gen vehicles gathering dust in dealer lots all over the nation. No one can deny that EVs have started rotting away in dealerships, and several major key factors have caused this alarming decrease in demand. A few short years ago, the whole world believed that EVs were the way of the future, with every car maker frothing at the mouth simply at the thought of having an all-electric lineup in the near future. They were seen as being healthier for the environment and being a more economical way of transportation. But the whole industry has got a reality check, with customers flat out refusing to purchase this new crop of battery-powered computers on wheels. Car companies that have banked on EVs might have millions of dollars in their R&D budgets, but they have failed to answer one simple question: why are people refusing to buy EVs? The answer to this question is not as clear-cut as people might believe. There are many reasons that have led to the downfall of electric vehicles in the eye of the public, so let's start with the most obvious: the exorbitantly high starting price. While it is true that new car prices have skyrocketed since the world almost came to an end in 2020, people were complaining about EV prices long before that. You see, the average MSRP is an eye-watering $67,000, which is a shocking $18,000 more than what you'd pay for a gasoline-powered car with a good old internal combustion engine. Does the promise of green transportation justify this astronomical price premium? We don't think so, and the general public seems to agree with their flat-out refusal to purchase EVs, leading them to sit rotting on dealership floors. While it is true that the government is offering $7,500 worth of federal tax credits for every EV purchase, it's a drop in the bucket compared to the initial sticker shock. Let's face it, most folks aren't dropping Benjamins on a car unless they get serious bang for their buck, which electric cars simply don't offer at the moment. There are much better deals on the gasoline-powered side of the market, and that's where the money is going. The price tag is far from the only thing hampering EV sales across the nation. Don't get us started on the maintenance costs of these. If something goes wrong, and trust us they will, be prepared to pay dearly. Studies have calculated that the maintenance costs of some of the world's most popular EVs compared to their internal combustion engine counterparts, and the results are shocking. For example, one of the world's cheapest EVs, the Nissan Leaf, will cost owners an average of $2,771 to maintain over 5 years, while the more expensive and recently introduced Ford Mustang Mach-E costs $3,559 for the same period. When it comes to eye-watering EV repair costs, the Porsche Taycan takes the cake at costing an average of $4,146 in maintenance over the period of half a decade. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that these costs are significantly higher than what a vehicle with an internal combustion engine would be over the same period, which explains why the latest crop of EVs has found it hard to find homes. The United States having over 160,000 public EV charging stations might paint a rosy picture of a nation embracing electric vehicles, but the real story is much different. Most of these cars are of the older Level 2 variety, which are not only slower, but are less efficient. The new Level 3 fast chargers are much faster in topping off EVs, but they also take up the better part of an hour to fill up a battery to full. Level 3 chargers are also harder to come across, with only 15% of the publicly available charging infrastructure being of this standard. In contrast, it only takes mere minutes to fill up a gas tank with gasoline, and buyers simply do not want to hang around a public charger for a couple of hours until their shiny new toy sips enough juice to get them to their next destination. This is where range anxiety comes in, and it's hard. For those who have been living under a rock, range anxiety is the fear of running out of battery power before reaching a charging station or your destination, which is very common among EV owners. With the current limitations of charging infrastructure, this fear is a very real concern for potential EV buyers. Imagine planning a road trip with your family, packing snacks, downloading movies, and preparing for a fun adventure. But with an EV, that carefree drive gets replaced by a constant mental map check. How far is the next charger? Will I make it? Do I need to take a detour? This constant worry takes the joy out of the journey and discourages people from using their EVs for anything beyond short commutes or considering one in the first place. What's worse is that the range of EVs tends to take a hit even due to the most random environmental changes. Unlike gasoline cars that can purr through no matter how hard it is raining outside, EVs are like delicate snowflakes when it comes to the weather. Is it barely hotter than regular outside? Prepare to see your advertised range melt away faster than an ice cube on a barbecue. Freezing mornings? Good luck reaching your destination without a quick top-up stop, given that there is a charger located on your way. Even a slight headwind can wreak havoc on your carefully planned journey, forcing you to rejig the entire route simply to find one more charging station. This unpredictability in range adds another layer of stress to EV ownership, making owning one a gamble and long road trips an unnecessary mental strain for the owners. Even if you have ample charge in the battery and have accounted for the challenges that Mother Nature will undoubtedly throw at you, there is still no guarantee that you'll make it to your destination. You see, EVs haven't had the best reputation for reliability, and once things go wrong, they often have catastrophic consequences. There have been many studies highlighting the increasingly higher repair costs and longer wait times associated with EVs compared to traditional vehicles, and even if the parts are available, you're at the mercy of the dealer to install them because these computers on wheels require special tools to work on them that no regular home mechanic would have, in turn leading to thousands of dollars in repair bills due to the specialized labor required. Unlike a simple engine issue that might be easily fixable on the side of the road with a simple toolkit, an electrical problem in an EV can render the entire vehicle bricked, which is a fear that has left many from considering an EV as their next vehicle. Adding to the concern of EV reliability is the potential for battery degradation. While advancements in battery technology are ongoing, lithium-ion batteries, currently the dominant technology in EVs, do lose capacity over time, similar to what happens with your shiny new iPhone. EV manufacturers love to show off the range of their shiny new models, but it is a few years after launch that the story takes a turn. On average, EV battery loses 10% of its usable capacity during the first 5 years of ownership, which has led to the US government finally taking notice and passing a law that requires every EV manufacturer to provide a 100,000-mile or 8-year warranty for the batteries of every new model they sell. Things are even more strict in the state of California, which requires EV batteries to be covered under a 10-year or 150,000-mile warranty. But despite how hard the government is trying to shove EVs down the throats of buyers, they still have done nothing to address the ethical and environmental concerns surrounding their production. That's right, folks, EVs aren't as green as your favorite influencers or billionaires claim. In fact, things are quite the opposite. While the government might be waving shiny tax carrots and building charging stations with reckless abandon, the dirty little secret of EV production remains conveniently swept under the rug. We're talking about the often brutal mining practices required for those fancy lithium batteries that power EVs. These operations can wreak havoc on local environments, pollute waterways, and raise serious questions about worker safety and fair labor practices. Let's also not forget the mountains of electronic waste that will inevitably pile up as these EVs reach the end of their lifespan much earlier than any gasoline-powered vehicle would. Is this truly the green utopia we were promised when EVs were first introduced? It seems the path to a sustainable future might be paved with its own set of ethical and environmental challenges, and the public has made their voices heard against this by refusing to purchase EVs. So, what does the future hold for EVs? While there is no denying that the initial excitement surrounding electric vehicles has undeniably hit a speed bump, and dealerships overflowing with unsold EVs paint a stark picture of a market struggling to find its footing, we believe there still is hope for the future of this industry. We've already exposed the reasons behind this slowdown: the hefty price tags, the limitations of charging infrastructure, range anxiety, and concerns about reliability and battery degradation. However, it's important to remember that this isn't the end of the story. The potential benefits of EVs, from lower emissions to preserving the Earth's limited fuel reserves, remain undeniable. The key lies in addressing the current shortcomings. Manufacturers need to prioritize making EVs that are more affordable for the general public and also account for their reliability while working on new technologies that will extend their range to be comparable to ICE-powered vehicles. If these shortcomings are addressed, we are certain that EVs will gain their reputation back and start selling like hotcakes, similar to what they once did. But until then, good old gasoline remains the fuel of choice for gearheads around the world. And if you'd like to know more about the latest cars coming out, why not like and subscribe to our channel?